welcome in, everyone. Welcome on in. We're going to get started. This is recording. We'll get something up on YouTube for anyone who missed and for those of you here, so you can, go through the meditation again if you'd like to. So first off, good morning and welcome in. Welcome to the full moon Penumbral Eclipse Sacred Circle. And I have all my candles lit back here. I'm all ready for this morning. And I'm gonna just sound off our Neptune gong. Neptune went direct yesterday. So I feel like in honor of that, I'm going to kick it off with a little gong bang. So here we go. So we're going to start with just a little bit of information. I think that's always fun. I'm a bit of a spiritual nerd, and I think a lot of you guys are as well. And so it's nice to know what exactly is going on and why do we care. And then after that, we will get into the actual ceremony piece. So today is a total penumbral lunar eclipse, and penumbral just means shaded. It's basically a fancy astrology word that means that the moon is shaded. And what happens on a total penumbral eclipse is that the moon is completely immersed by the penumbral cone of the earth. So the moon will be completely immersed in exactly 1 hour and 3 minutes across the entire planet. So as we're wrapping up, it will be in the full eclipse. And I did that on purpose because I think I'm a Scorpio and we are quiet practitioners. And so we're doing this lovely group, and then we have the opportunity as a group to do our own individual practice during the height of the eclipse. So I thought that would be a nice thing for all of us to do. Some of you might actually be able to see it depending on where you are in the world, and some of us may not. Now I'm in Colorado and the full moon is actually still out. So I should be able to see the eclipse, and I saw some of it as I was taking my children to school. But we'll see if anything comes from that, the higher the sun gets in the sky. So the other thing to know is this is also the Beaver Moon, which is something fun. And we're going to talk about the Beaver Totem here in a minute. Now, we've had several eclipses this year, and because there were more than in the last few years within a year time period, that's part of why the astrologers knew that 2020 was going to be such an intense time. There were many things that made it an intense time, but this is one of them. The last lunar eclipse was actually on July 5th, and that coincided with a lot of astrology with the United States around Independence Day. And there's a lot to come from the United States astrology and a lot of information to come from me for 2021 predictions. I'm working on a guide right now that's going to share information about the upgrade to the United States. There's a lot of astrology that links in to the birth of the United States. And there's a lot happening between now, February 2022, and May 2023, and then going into 2024. So the next 4 years is essentially a rebirthing of the US, and that, of course, makes waves all across the world, and there are different things going on in different countries. So that's something that we'll be talking about in the 2021 predictions. But just know that this lunar eclipse kind of brings to a close the eclipse timeframe from July 5th. So if you think back to July 5th to today, November 30th, whatever went on for you, this is a completion of that time. So it's a nice thing to take stock, to do some personal inventory in your journal about what went on for you in these last 4 or 5 months, because that is what you're closing down today and releasing anything that came up from a fear-based place. So that's also pretty cool. Now, one thing that's very interesting is today we are directly centered on the planet in between the sun and the moon. So for all of you who practice the craft of the wise, or are a shaman, or just inherently connected to our planet, to our great mother, this is a really interesting, unique, and special day because we are sandwiched in between the sun and the moon, the yin and the yang, the male and the female. We're directly in between these two powerful cosmic forces that rule our lives, right? They rule our schedules, our bodies, our energy, our weather. Everything that happens around us comes from these two energies, and there are different belief systems. Some of us follow the moon. That's been my tradition through generations of the women in my family, as we follow the moon, we follow the stars. There's a whole group that also follows the sun, right? And those of you who are connected to ancient Egypt, I have them honored behind me. Ancient Egypt, that they were sun worshipers, right? So we have these potent energies today. It's really a sacred day. So anything you can do to make today sacred, this is part of it, right? All of us coming together, all of us beautiful women coming together in one spot. That's really beautiful. But you may want to fast. I know I'm going to try Satyam's fast. For those of you who watched Satyam talk about fasting a few weeks ago, he does it on the moons. And so I'm doing that today. I'm fasting and just purifying my system today. There's all sorts of ritualistic things you can do. Get out in nature, get connected with Mother Earth. These are all things that you can do. So I just think these are really fun things to know about. And when we talk about the beavers, so this is the Beaver Moon. The Beaver Totem is a symbol of creativity. And it also stands for persistence and hard work. When you think of a beaver, you think of how hard they work to build their dams. And they also have this beautiful gift of changing the entire scene around them. My dad has a cabin in Taos, New Mexico. And these beavers came, and he had a river behind the cabin. And these beavers came a few months ago and completely transformed his whole backyard. When he came, he lives in Arizona. So when he came to visit the cabin, the entire backyard was a pond. And there was all these things that were different. Trees were missing and moved. And so they're looked at as rodents often, right, by human beings if they start to do damage to your property or to your space. But what I feel about today, knowing how this year has been, when you think about going outside, wherever you live, wherever country, wherever space you live, aren't you leaving your home and everything is different, right? The stores look different. Some of us have partitions, people are wearing face coverings. There's all these peculiar things. So we're at home and we're doing our life, and then we go out, and every time I go out, I'm like, oh, well, this is interesting. There's something different. Oh, my food store has self-checkout. They didn't have that last time I was here, right? So there's these things changing across the planet. And something I want you guys to understand is, while there is fear around those changes and what those might mean, all those changes are going to be taken back for the light in a few years. So the next few years are sort of this, it looks like things are being controlled. Just trust in the process, because what's going to happen is we're going to take those structures that are unifying everyone under a false pretense and unifying us in the light. So just know that that is something that I see happening very clearly. So don't panic. This is part of releasing fear, which we're going to get into in a minute. But so when you think about the Beaver Totem, it's a really interesting thing, isn't it? Because everything is changing around us, just like those beavers, they just changed everything. They have this hard work and this persistence and this focus of trying to get something done. And so today is a great day to connect with that beaver, to ask yourself, where can you be disciplined? Where are you persistent? What are you working hard on? And also honoring all of these changes happening around us and just trusting that, sometimes beavers go out in nature and they create that pond, and that pond is needed, and fish come to the pond and things happen. So trust in what the natural forces are doing right now. Now, the Beaver Totem allows you to put your best foot forward in the tasks you desire to accomplish. Ooh, if I could talk. So this is really important because where are we right now? We are stepping into the final month of 2020. Everything you do right now should be, and I hate to use the word should, so we want our focus to be on 2021, our intentions. We want our focus to be on really self-reflection of the whole year. So if that's not a natural thing, I've been doing that for years and years and years. And a lot of you on here that have been with me all these years as clients or in the community or as other colleagues or anything, you guys know every year we kind of look back at the year and really think about it and journal about it and start to look at the new year. Well, this is definitely a year to do that. So if you've never done that kind of self-reflection, get the journal out and start writing in it. Go buy a new journal if you need to. It's on my list of things to do this week. Because I filled up another one. I filled up 4 this year, which is a little crazy, but that's what's happened with me this year. So self-reflection. Take time today. I'm going to spend some time actually. I'm fasting today. The kids are at school. So I have like a 4-hour window of quiet. So in that window, I'm going to do some yoga practice and some quiet meditation and some self-reflection on the year myself, and really sit with some of the things that have risen up in my consciousness around the planet, around my own journey in the new year. So if you have the time and space to do that today, I absolutely recommend it. And that beaver is going to allow you to put your best foot forward. So you can say, well, geez, what are the things I really, really want to accomplish in 2021? And how do I bring my best foot forward? And this is tricky because one of the messages that's come through from the cosmic teachers that I am connected to is that there's no long-term planning. Yikes. No long-term planning. Think about that. No future planning, to be completely in the present moment and to plan at the last minute because it's too volatile. So how do we make intentions for the future if there's no long-term planning? And the answer is, and what came from my spirit team, and really they're not even mine, they're like the team. I don't even know what they are anymore. They're just these beings. The message that came through was, it's about planning your practices. How are you going to go within, planning your disciplines, connecting inside yourself, and setting intentions around your spiritual trajectory, your spiritual path, versus planning, I'm going to paint my kitchen. It's really looking at, one of my intentions for the new year is creating space for myself to continue my studies in sidereal astrology and Ayurveda. I'm constantly reading books, constantly taking in information, and I want to create some space to really integrate in 2021. So that's a way to say, okay, this is something I can be very present with and doesn't require necessarily a check mark on the to-do list. So this is the things that I would think about today. So that's really what the Beaver full moon is about setting those intentions and being able to draw down the beaver into your energy field. Really get out into the moonlight today or tonight or whatever your schedule looks like. Bring that moonlight in. Ask the Beaver Totem to step into your space and to help you to persevere, to be disciplined, to be focused. Lots and lots of hard work for all of us on a spiritual path, really from now until 2032. So we have 12 years of work. Some of us have had 40, 50, 60 years of work already. It's still there. It never really ends, but we have 12 years of really intense, focused, disciplined work. Okay, so the only other thing I want to say before we go into a little ritual meditation is that this is an intense day. So if you feel emotional, if you feel stressed, if you feel destructive emotions come up, anger, frustration, any of those things, just check in with yourself, be gentle with yourself, remind yourself that this is just part of the intensity of the day. So it's a beautiful day and we have these great, astrological forces happening, but it's also intense and it's squeezing out fear. It's a cleansing or a purification of fear today, and fear specifically over the last 5 months and what's risen up for you in the last 5 months since the last eclipse. So just knowing that things are probably going to come up if you have not cleared them out of your energy field. So this is a big day. It's an opportunity, an invitation to really purify and clear all the garbage out of your field as much as you can. Just think of it as like a big house cleaning inside yourself today. Really big house cleaning. And if you do have to go to work or you have to leave your house or whatever you have to do, just really stay as grounded as possible today. I have a very clear intention that we are not going to float away out of our bodies today in any sort of meditation. I have a very grounded, heart-centered practice for us today so that we can stay in our bodies and stay grounded, because we want to be in there so we can purify all this yucky stuff out of us. Okay, so with all of that said, we're going to connect in. And for you, connecting in may mean planting your feet on the floor. It could mean lying down. It could mean turning your video off. It could mean any of those things. So whatever you need to do, get comfortable. And I'm very experiential in my own space. So I like to roll my shoulders back, maybe even, take my arms behind my back and just sort of move into my body. I really like to feel my energy field. I tend to float out of my body a lot, and I bet a lot of you do. And so with that, really feeling the physical body and just sort of moving around and like touching your fingertips together and pressing the bottoms of your feet into the earth, it just brings your spirit back into the body. So you're like, hello, body. I'm here. I'm connected. You can close down your eyes and really feel your body drop into the root chakra at the base of the spine. Feel those sit bones on to your seat if you're sitting. If you are lying down, you can feel your hips sink into the earth, but just really feel yourself drop, like your energy just drops into the pelvic floor, really feeling that. You can even place your hand on your pelvic floor or under your sit bones if you need to, and just really feel grounded in your body. Now we're going to take 3 deep breaths together. You're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. So breathing in through the nose using the natural filtration. And a big sigh out. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we're going to just sit in the stillness for about 20 seconds. Just really sit in your own stillness. And you can bring your palms together at heart center for a prayer. Saints, siddhas, gurus, master teachers, guides, angels, loved ones, cosmic masters, all of our teachers and beings that wish to be with us today, welcome in. At this full moon, I am releasing all that is not in alignment
with my greatest and highest good. I am choosing to be free. I am choosing to end karma by forgiving everyone who has wronged me and ask for forgiveness of all who I have wronged in all dimensions, all trajectories, past, present, and future. I release all beliefs, persons, and situations that attempt to blind me to my wholeness and my power in all dimensions, trajectories, past, present, and future. I am releasing all that distracts me from my soul's purpose. I have planned my soul path prior to this incarnation. I willingly let go of all that no longer serves my highest good in all dimensions, trajectories, past, present, and future. I am releasing all beliefs, persons, and situations that have prevented me from seeing the abundance and opportunities that continuously flow to me. I am ready to receive it now, in present now time, and allow all I desire to come to me. I accept control of the circumstances of my life. And at the same time, I surrender to the divine will of God Source. I gratefully receive and accept your guidance. There is nothing that can prevent me from moving forward. I claim my sovereignty. I am free. And so it is, and so it shall be. Take a nice deep breath in and bring your awareness into your heart center. So imagine you were dropped into your root chakra, and now you come up into the heart center. So you're rising up. You can even place your hands on your heart center. Take a nice deep breath in, breathing light into the cells all around the heart center. Today is about releasing fear, purifying the fear that exists in your energy field. So take a moment in your heart center and ask from your heart, what is still within me that is fear? What fear still exists in my energy field? Take a nice deep breath in, and as you breathe out, just release that fear out of the body. Let it all go. Take a few deep breaths if you need to. Each exhalation, releasing the fear. You can visualize maybe bats are flying out of a cave, or maybe you're sweeping cobwebs out, or whatever that looks like. Maybe you're removing sticky goo, but just release that fear that still lies in the heart center. Letting it go, really beautiful. I can see so much energy leaving us right now. Just let it go. Maybe you roll or shake that energy off. Just clear it out, clear it out. Really nice. Oh, the whole group feels so much lighter. And come back into the heart space. Breathing in. Oh, everyone should feel a lot better. And we're going to center in our heart. Dropping into the heart is the focus for today. Be in that heart space. This is the seat of the soul, your direct connection to the bodhicitta, compassion, and your soul path and purpose. So as you connect with your soul path and purpose and you connect into this heart space, ask yourself another question. Ask yourself, what does my heart want today? What does my heart want today? Beautiful. I feel like our hearts just want to give us a big hug. If you can feel that energy, there's just this wrapping of love and light all around us. I can see angelic beings coming into our space. So we're all doing something right with the alchemy of this group today. It's just beautiful. Feel those angels enveloping you with their wings and their light and their love and holding you, keeping you safe in that space. Take a nice deep breath. And you can bring your chin to your chest and you're going to feel a nice stretch at the back of the neck, feeling the back of the neck stretching. Perhaps you roll your shoulders back also, getting an extra stretch. And you can slowly flutter your eyes open. And if you have your journal handy and you'd like to write down anything that came up for you during the meditation, please do so. If you do not have your journal handy and or you do not want to write anything down, I want you to look around the room and just check in with the present moment. Just take a look around at your room, if there's doors or windows or pictures or paintings or furniture, and maybe you take the palms of your hand and just put them on your thighs, your legs. Maybe you feel your arms, just kind of feel your body, just get grounded into this physical space, just getting grounded into the physical space. We really cleared a lot of energy from what I saw and felt, which is really beautiful. So a few things to note if you're still writing in your journal, please go ahead. You don't have to stop. A few things to note for today. For those of you who practice any sort of craft of the wise, my advice is to spend the day in self-reflection as if it was a void of course day versus doing any sort of magical intentions. This is really a day when there's an eclipse. It's a day of purification, cleansing, self-reflection, releasing, rather than planting the seeds. The seeds are going to be planted on the solar eclipse on December 14th. So that is going to be the next big date coming up. There's a lot of energy around December 14th. There's a lot of energy on the solstice on December 21st. So this is a time to cleanse, clear, and self-reflect. Think about all of the things in the past that have happened in 2020, things that have come up from the past. I've had some interesting dreams about people from my past. So these things are worth noting and writing out because this is stuff that's coming up into the conscious space so that it can be released. So you want to really clear your space today rather than planting seeds, even though sometimes a full moon is a good time for planting seeds. I wouldn't do it today. My advice is to clear out, self-reflect, release, burn old papers, whatever you want to do. And Claire, thank you. She said, not a good day for making moon water or charging crystals either. Yes, this is more of a peaceful, restful, quiet space today rather than a big, potent, magical, intentional day. So just keep that in mind. Those are coming. Don't worry. We have a few of them in December that are just potent, pack a punch. So keep that in mind. Also, again, really do some research on the beaver if you want to really connect in. And I invite you, I'm on all the social media platforms. Yes, I did get back on Facebook. I did not want to, but I was reminded that we have to share our light everywhere. And so I am back on there, really for Buddhist Biohacker and for our community and all of those things. So you can find me on Facebook now, but I'm on Facebook and Instagram and MeWe, and Twitter and all the social media. And the point of this is, I don't care what platform it is. I don't care if it's YouTube or any of the other social media platforms, but I love hearing your experiences and your comments and everything and questions. I just love it. And I do spend time going on those and responding to people. It's not every day, but I do get on there and get back with everyone and read through. So if you have experiences or things that came up today, please share them wherever you feel like that's the spot to share. I would love to hear it. It's just lovely hearing everybody's shares. So I feel better. Do you guys feel better? So much better. And I will have an edited version of this that will go up on YouTube so that you guys can all access this. And so can the people who weren't able to do it. There's a lot of folks who are working and things. So with that said, I did want to take a few minutes at the end today to share some of the ways I'm going to be able to support everyone in 2021. I really took a nice break after the awakening from all electronics, and it was a lovely thing, and connected in with spirit and my family and myself, and just really thought about what, I'm going to be able to do in the new year. And I just wanted to take some time to explain it. And I will open things up for a few questions here at the end before we close. So a few things, and I'm so glad everybody's feeling better. Yeah, I needed this too. The moon kicked my butt last night. I had tons of dreams, tons and tons of dreams. I feel like I didn't sleep at all. My sleep tracker says I did, but it doesn't feel that way at all. Here's what I'm going to be doing in 2021. And it's a lot. So this is part of why I'm sharing it on a call, because I think it's worth having the conversation and sharing about it. So one of the things that I'm really passionate about is supporting all of us in as accessible way possible, and still be able to survive as a psychic medium. So I spent some time reworking the Ajata Kasha community membership page. And I also have a few other things I'm going to share with you guys to really give as much space, because I know that some folks are really thriving in this pandemic environment and some folks are not. So I want to create as much support in as many ways as possible, and without it being complicated. So we've updated the Ajata Kasha website. And if somebody wants to throw that knows the web address, you can throw it in the comments. But when you go to the website and you see all the things we have to offer, it's just so incredible, the depth. So first and foremost, beginning today with what we just did, all of my full and new moon sacred circles will be available to everyone for free from here on out. So it does not matter if you're part of anything, you can come and join us for the full and new moon sacred circles, which I'm very happy to do. Because when you think about sacred circles, and women especially, there might be some men that are part of this, but my energy is a lot of divine feminine, so there's a lot of women here. For all of us women to gather together and be connected, I think is really important. And I also think that you can't put a price tag on a sacred circle. So that is going to be available to everyone. Now, I'm not going to share the Zoom publicly. You're going to have to get on a little registration list, and we'll have the rest of that up to date in the next day or two. We're reworking all of it, myself and my team right now. But you'll be able to register and get the Zoom information and be a part of that twice a month, every month. And these sacred circles will replace the global meditations, sort of. But if there's big events that are happening astrologically or energetically, we're still going to host impromptu global meditation. So you'll want to keep an eye, but I'm going to have all of that information on the global meditations page. So you'll be able to find the moon information as well as any global meditations for the month on there. And we'll have a separate email list just for that. So you won't have to, sorry, kicking somebody out. I'm not letting anybody in late anymore after our little Zoom crash last week. We're not doing that. But anyways, I just want to have all of that available. So it'll all be on the global meditations page. So anyone and everyone can be a part of this. And that is what we'll do from now on. So that is going to be support that's accessible to everyone, no matter who you are. Timing of these will be based on the astrology to the best of my ability. So the times won't be consistent. They'll change based on the moon cycle. So that is that part. I've also added a new level to the membership community that is only $11 a month. And that is just to access everything that's in the site. So we have the light library. There's like almost 200 videos in there now. We also have the transmission library with all of my transmissions from all of the years I've channeled, as well as the monthly flows where I share what to expect for the month ahead. Excuse me, all of that will be available to anyone who wants to be a part of that initial level. So that is a new addition as well. So if you don't have a lot in your budget and you want to be able to just get all the information, that's that. Most everybody who's been part of the membership community this year has been part of the Indigo level, which is only $22 a month. And you get 6 calls a month. It's actually 81 calls with me in 2021. I counted them up. So this is an opportunity to have a divination class twice a month and be part of Seeker Circle twice a month. And for those of you who are in different places in the world, our Seeker Circle has moved to Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. So that should give everybody the ability to connect. In Australia, you might have to get up early. That's the only thing. But if you're in UK and most of the, middle of the planet, you should be able to get on it without it being a crazy time. So that is something that's changed as far as the timing. So if you're interested in learning about divination and energy healing and all of those things, I have a lesson plan for 2021. And you get those classes twice a month. Plus you'll get the Seeker Circle calls twice a month. And in the Seeker Circle, we'll be talking about energy across the planet, any recent transmissions or downloads I've received from the collective, as well as I do readings in there. So if you have a quick question, I try to answer as many questions as I can during that time frame as well. So that's another way that you can be supported also. We have kept our Lemurian level, which is $44 a month. And that level is now going to include yoga on a weekly basis. So just so you guys know, you have access to all of the video courses in the Ajatakasha Institute, as well as the yoga and meditation live streams. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm actually going to start it next week. I'm starting it a month early. So Tuesday mornings, I'll be doing yoga and I will be recording those, and you'll have access to all the recordings from here on out if you're part of that as well. And my yoga is not power vinyasa, you guys. I have my own practice called the Indigo Flow. And what we'll be doing, it's a lot of meditation and using gentle postures and stretches to connect with our energy. So it's a very spiritual based yoga practice. It's alignment based yoga. If you've never done yoga before, you'll absolutely be able to do this. If you're a longtime practitioner of yoga, I think you'll appreciate spending the additional time breaking down postures and really sitting. For example, we'll probably only do 1 or 2 postures a week and really talk through what the point of the posture is and how to use it to open your chakras and your energy centers. So it's a real different kind of practice. So that's going to be there. And then the final thing, which is the main thing I wanted to talk about today, is, I've done readings for many, many years. And over the years, my readings have evolved into more of a soul connection and really tuning into the Akashic records and connecting in with your ancestry. And so that's what I've always offered. And so we've come up with a program. It's called the Starseed program. And what this is this is going to give you access to everything. So you will literally have access to all of the things I just talked about. You'll be able to participate in the yoga, you can participate in the classes, the seeker circle, all of those things, and the transmissions, etc. But you will also have 30 minutes with me each and every month. And I wanted to make this as accessible as possible. So this particular program is $144 a month, and that is the price of a normal 30-minute session with me. So you're getting the 30 minutes plus all of the additional perks. And the reason I'm doing this is, and this isn't going to be for everybody, so this is why I wanted to kind of share with you guys. Here's what happens. Some of you here have gone through an awakening or Shaktipat or a consciousness shift, or maybe you're in a divorce, or I don't know, you have life changes, right? We're in the middle of 2020. We're at the end of 2020, but we're beginning a whole new journey into the age of Aquarius. And we want support, but we don't necessarily need to have like a full, Akashic record reading every single month or anything like that. But what we do want is to check in and to say like, okay, here's where I'm at. This is what I'm feeling. Some people need emotional support consistently for a period of time. And some of you have gone through awakenings or deep into your spiritual practice and you're looking for a teacher, right? Maybe I have some students who work with me individually as shamans. They want to work on their shamanic practices. Perhaps you want to learn to read cards. Perhaps you want to, I'm really open to what it kind of support you need, but this gives you the ability to have consistent support with me. I'm only going to take a certain number of star seeds, and eventually that probably will be all that I work with. I can't say that'll be true in 2021 because I feel like I just want to be able to help as many people as I can, but eventually that may be the case. And so it just gives you kind of this slot in with me. Much like Julie Hoyle, I tend to work with my students on and consistent clients in the dream state. I typically hold space for you on my altar and different things like that. So if you want the support, this is not, there's no contracts or anything. You don't have to keep doing it. Maybe you need help for 3 months or 6 or a year or whatever, but it is available to you. And you just have to submit an application for it. And I check in with you. I'll actually have a phone call with you, a Zoom call, probably on Zoom, just to talk through where you're at with your spiritual practice, what you're looking for, what it is that, you want to accomplish so that we know going into it what we're doing, and if it's going to work for both of us. But it's just a way to get connected and to have support. I have my teachers that I connect with consistently to get support as well, right? We're all working on things. And so it's just important to have that spiritual support if you need it. So I wanted to be able to share that out loud rather than you just reading it on a web page or whatever, that's really the point and purpose of it. So if you're interested in that, there's a form directly on the Ajatakasha community page. Just send that in, and Sienna, my assistant, will email you and set up a call with you and me, probably a 20-minute call, just so that we can connect and discuss if this is something that you want to do. And if you're already a member, you can just email me and let me know if you're interested or not. So those are some options. We also have the Ajatakasha Institute. Right now, there's a couple video courses. I think we're going to run some kind of special on those for the holidays. So look for that in your email soon. Those I also try to make pretty accessible, and the Light Warrior program kicks off in January. So we're going to hold a free call with all of the faculty of the Ajatakasha Institute on Thursday night. Let me make sure I have that right. Thursday at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. So I will put this out on social media, and we'll send out a newsletter on email. But if you are interested, that's another free call just like this, and you'll get to meet with the faculty and talk about the Light Warrior program if you're interested in that. So that's something for you guys to know as well. So there's lots of opportunities for you to get support. I really just wanted, and I appreciate you giving me the time. I really don't like to solicit spiritual work, so it's awkward to talk about it, but I really felt it was important to talk about so that you knew what was there, because we are going to continue this journey into 2021. Now, the energy of 2021 is lighter, and that it's not going to be as abrupt as 2020 felt, right? With everything that happened. But our journey with isolation, self-reflection, outward changes on the planet, that's going to continue and through 2021, no matter what occurs with our leadership across the planet. Not just the United States, but across the whole planet. No matter what occurs there, we're still going to experience some of these changes, and it's still a year to really focus inward. So I wanted to make sure that we have support. That's what my whole mission is about, is being able to support all of you as best as I possibly can with everything that I've learned and gone through in my own spiritual journey, and to use my gifts in the way that I can. And so that is what I wanted to share.